Okay, welcome everybody to your Wednesday postnatal yoga. My name is Emma and I'm here with you today with Fit Mums and Friends. It's the 20th of May and it is the most gloriously sunny day outside. Like, I can't even believe how sunny it is. Although on the news it said it's thunderstorms tomorrow, so hey ho. If you're at home practicing, then you could always do this in your lounge or maybe even in the garden. I'll show you what we're going to do first. Main thing today is make sure that you feel okay to practice yoga. Today is a really gentle session. It's going to be focused on the practice of restorative yoga, and the clue is in the name: rest. Now, I designed this class already before today. However, with this very warm day, if you're watching live, then this might also suit you. If you have handy, close by, a blanket or a cushion or something like this that I prepared earlier. So I've just rolled my blanket up. I always think of it like a Swiss roll, a jam Swiss roll, I think it's called. If you've got something like that, it doesn't have to be very big. Okay, it just has to be like a small roll. You can have a little cushion or maybe just borrow your baby's blanket. If you've got something like that, if you're watching on repeat, just press pause and go and get that. Or if you're watching live, just grab something close by, even your jumper or something, okay? And we're going to do some restorative poses today. The reason for, I was just checking my notes, apologise. The reason for doing some restorative poses is often in the postnatal phase, there can be a sense of overwhelm. Maybe it's the chores you've got to do, maybe it's your other children, maybe it's the overwhelm of information and advice that people are giving you. There's many things that can overwhelm us in life. And I find in my own life that sometimes to take a practice like restorative, it just allows that sense of overwhelm just to pause for a moment. And I can almost feel the undercurrent of it kind of drifting away. Of course, the actions, the chores, the advice, all the things that were overwhelming us in the first place may still be there when we finish our practice, but our approach to it can be different. So I'm going to set you up first of all, and then I'm going to guide you through a breath meditation. Now, if you don't have a blanket or a bolster or anything like that, you're going to be lying in Shavasana, which is relaxation, so lying on your back or your side. You can have baby snuggles in, although it's very warm today, or they can be playing or resting. So I'm just going to move away from the camera and I'm going to show you the setup, and then I'll be sat up and I'll read or review the breath meditation, okay? So I've got my little blanket rolled up. You can use something off your sofa. So this isn't off my sofa, this is just a little bolster I made. A bit like a draft excluder, if you've got one of those. All we're going to do with it is, this is actually a little bit too big, but I'm going to place it underneath my shoulder blades and lie onto it. And then I'm going to give you a couple of other tips. So I'm going to take the blanket, just put it on my mat, just in case for any reason you can't see me. And then I'm going to sit down. So then what I'm going to do is allow the blanket, again, that's probably a little high for some people, but I'm going to put it underneath the shoulder blades, a bit where the bra strap would go. Okay, so it's going under the shoulder blades, so my shoulder blades are going over it. And then I'm going to lie on the blanket. I'm going to bring my head to the floor, but you can have a pillow or something very light underneath it. So I'm coming into a big back bend. So again, if you're postnatal, just make sure that the belly feels okay to have this stretch. If it's too much, prop the head higher. And I've got my feet on the floor and my knees bent for the moment. As I said, this is a little high. I would probably not have it as high as this. Now, with the arms, I'm just going to stretch them out or have them like cactus arms. For a lot of our bodies, this part of the body is too tight to do this. So I'm going to take a cushion, just imagine I've got one on the other side, and then as I take the arms out, I'm going to rest them on the cushion. I can just use this bolster on the other side. As such. Now you might feel a little bit of tension in the back as you come into this. If it feels painful, take the blanket away and just lie on the floor. If there's a little bit of tension, see if you can soften into it. So like when you get into bed at night and you're like, oh, thank God. Yeah, that kind of feeling. And you can stretch the legs out. I just find in the first moment of this pose, it feels better for my body to have the feet on the floor. So you guys are going to stay there. Now remember, if it's not comfortable, just take the blanket away, take the props away. And if you're not sure of anything, just put a comment in the section and I can reply to you. So as you lie down, you can have the eyes open, you can have the eyes closed. If your baby is close by, you can always just have one hand just on their foot or on their hand, just very softly holding them so they know you're there. And then take a very gentle breath in. So not a big breath because we're opening across the chest already. Think of a very sweet breath in and then out. Maybe through the mouth. If we think about overwhelm, we want to let a sense of that go. So it could be that when you breathe in, you think of a different word. And then as you breathe out, let go of overwhelm. So it could be that you breathe in, relax, let it go. As you breathe out, overwhelm. Let that overwhelm go. If you need to move the body, then allow that to move a little bit. So with restorative, the key thing is that you're comfortable. We don't want there to be any effort in the body. So if you've just joined us, you've got a rolled up blanket or a little cushion, and you're going to lie your back over the blanket with the shoulder blades over. So you're going to come into a little back bend, okay? Or you can be lying down simply on the floor. I'm going to guide you through a breath meditation. And during the next few minutes, you might notice things start to shift. The thoughts and attachments to the things that cause overwhelm might be softening slightly. Remembering that exhalation through the mouth at any time. I shared this reading on a couple of classes already this week. Inhale, take a long breath in, and inhale for peace. And exhale to let go of tension. Maybe it's just a little bit around the jaw and the mouth. As you next breathe in, inhale for wellness, whatever that means to you. And as you exhale, let go of tightness and tension in the body. Maybe all the way down to the feet. As you breathe in, inhale for balance. This moment of rest in a busy day. Exhale from the core of your being, all the way down in towards the pit of the belly. A long breath out. Inhale for patience in this slow pose. And exhale any desire, any need to rush. Inhale and dwell in transition. These precious moments as a mother And exhale so you can begin again. You take 3 more breaths. With every exhalation, almost feeling like you're making friends with that sense of overwhelm if it's present in your life. As you take 1 more breath or 2 more breaths here, notice that there's nothing to do except to release and rest. Nothing to do except to release and rest. And then if the legs are straight, bend the legs and just have the feet on the floor for a moment. So we just ground the energy through the feet. And know that if you want to stay here for a little bit longer, you absolutely can. If it's your first time in this recline pose over the blanket, just don't stay too long because it is a back bend. And then we're going to remove the blanket if you're ready to move on. So slide the blanket away and then lie the body back onto the floor. So slide the blanket or the cushion away from underneath the back and lie the body back on the floor. And just let the spine just take a moment there. You can bring your hands on towards your belly or out towards your baby if they're with you. And again, we soften. So we spend a moment between the poses, even though they're restful, to rest. There's a wonderful Spanish proverb that says, how wonderful is it to do nothing and rest afterwards. Bringing the knees in towards the chest and just hugging the knees in. Be mindful of the belly if it's sensitive or you've got anything going on there. And as you hug the knees in, just rock a little bit side to side. Remembering those breaths. I'm going to take about 3 more here. So you just rock through the spine, the arms are wrapped around the legs. And then we're going to take that into a twist, into a double leg spinal twist. So again, any scarring, any sensitivities in around the belly or anything, again, just be mindful. You can always come up and do this. You won't need to see me if you can't see the camera for any reason. I'll talk you through it. Just going to have the knees above the hips. I'm going to stretch my arms out, but again, you can have them bent at the elbows. A little squeeze of the knees together, and I'm just going to let the knees fall to one side, so very gently fall towards the floor. Now you'll probably feel a little stretch down the side of the body, or a big stretch. If the arm, the right arm, is kind of elevated, grab your cushion and then place that cushion underneath that shoulder. If you've got someone in the house with you, get them to do it. The other hand you can have on baby, or you can have stretched out, or sometimes it's nice to bring it on towards the belly. And as you bring the hand to the belly, if that feels okay, if you are working with a sense of overwhelm today, connecting the hand towards the belly and just taking a moment to acknowledge what you've done. Bring in a baby or babies into the world, nourishing them, nurturing them, looking after them, and everything else that you do. And it's a great way to connect back to that area. Yesterday in prenatal, we acknowledged the curves of the body, the roundness of a pregnancy belly, the abundance of room, the abundance of curves in the body. Okay, we've got about 2 more breaths here, so it's a longer hold than normal. Reason for that is I don't want it to feel like work. I want it to feel like rest. Okay, we're going to bring the knees back up. And then if you've just got one cushion and you need to use it on the other side, bring it to the other side. Again, you can also bring the knees onto something. So my knees reach the floor. Yours may or may not. I've got a bolster here as well. So on this side, I'm also going to prop the twist on this side. Apologise, I didn't say that on the other side. So we're going to bring the knees in. And then I'm just going to let them come to the other side. And I'm going to let them rest on this cushion here. Bring my feet onto the cushion. Excuse me. And bring my arm onto the cushion. So just like you set your baby up for his or her sleep, tucking them in or making sure they've got everything they need, in restorative it's a bit like that. You can have the hands to the heart, to the belly, to baby if you've moved them. Excuse me. And there is nothing else to do here. It might feel weird, it might feel lazy, it might feel naughty to be having a little lie down. But having these moments to recharge the system without something that stimulates the system allows the body to rest. So if you're sensing overwhelm, sometimes we think, oh, maybe we'll have a coffee or maybe go on the internet, which does calm us down, but they also stimulate the system. So these poses for you might actually feel quite hard because there is always something else to do. That's 30 minutes in all the minutes you have in the day. We can cultivate them for rest. It can create a significant change in the system. Let's take about 2 more breaths here, because otherwise I'm going to get really relaxed. You can do this without props, but I find cushions and blankets really help. The nice thing about this is you can also do this just lying in bed. Use your cushions. Okay, let's bring the feet back onto the floor. And then, excuse me, sorry. I'm just going to move the cushion out of the way. And you can have baby on your chest if they're small, or have your hand onto them, or just rest your hands again on towards the belly and maybe one to the heart. And again, take those generous breaths there. Do you need to exhale? You guys can stay lying down. I'm just going to sit up so I can see my notes. Do you need to exhale through the mouth? Is it through the nose? Okay. You can stay here as you are. If not, we're going to do a pose. If you'd like to move on, we're going to do a pose that elevates the legs. Now, if you don't have a wall space or a chair available, just stack up your cushions, okay, into a little pile and elevate your legs, your feet onto that. So I'll show you if you're not sure, okay. So I'm just going to use the things I have on in my lounge, which is where I am right now. So going to get a couple of cushions. So this is if you don't have a chair handy or if you don't have a wall handy, okay. You can place a blanket under the head, so I'm going to give you a couple of options here. So option 1, if you don't have anything that you can rest your legs up or on, you can just use cushions maybe your kids' toys or something. There's normally something lying around. And you just bring the legs up. This is also a much more gentle version, so it's nice if you've got like super tight hamstrings or anything like that, back of the legs. I'm going to move in a moment. I'm just going to show you this one. So all I'm going to do is bring my legs or my feet onto the little stack of pillows, and I'm going to lie down. Arms wherever you wish. What is nice is to have a little blanket or something underneath the lower back. Okay, if you do have a sofa, I don't have a wall available, but you can scoot close to the wall and put your legs up the wall. If your sofa or a chair is handy, then you can have a blanket. And the nice thing about taking a little bit of time just to show you this is that you can watch this on repeat on Facebook, and you can press pause and obviously set yourself up. So you can set a timer for this as well, for like 10 or so minutes. So I'm just going to scoot close to my sofa. You might not be able to see my legs, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to bring my legs up onto the sofa, so you can just see my knees there, my feet there. I'm going to put my feet on the sofa, and then I'm just going to lie down. Oh, feels so nice. It's one of my most favourite poses ever. Arms, where do you wish them to be? Belly, baby, cactus arms. If you want something, let's say, a little stronger, but only if it feels comfortable, is sometimes I take hold of each elbow and it really stretches underneath the armpits. But if you try that and you're like, oh my God, this is not comfortable, then don't do it. So as you lie down, just making sure you're comfortable. You can wriggle the shoulder blades, you can yawn the mouth, you put a little cushion underneath the head, which feels really nice. And you can close the eyes. Got a few minutes here. So I'm just going to sit up for a moment, but you can absolutely stay lying here, okay? In fact, I'm going to stay for a minute. So as you lie down, know that you'll hear my voice a little bit, just so that you know we're still connected. Notice the tension, and tension is not a bad thing. If we didn't have tension in the body, we wouldn't stay up. If we didn't have tension in a bridge or stress, or a bridge couldn't take stress, it wouldn't work. So we need these things in life. However, we also need boundaries with them. So if you are in a state of overwhelm or experienced overwhelm in the past few weeks or days, you might hold that a little bit in the system. So for me, just noticing around the glutes, around the buttocks, I need to kind of soften a little bit there. And then I think about the heels. I let the heels be heavy. So it's almost like a wave of relaxation through the body. Now you might have your kids running around. The dog or cat will probably want to join in. It's a bit like when you go to the bathroom and you have a family, everybody wants to be in the bathroom as well. So every now and again, letting that long exhale out. So that sense of overwhelm can almost begin to drift away. Again, just knowing that the chores, all the things that cause the overwhelm may still be there, but it's how we approach them might be different. I'm going to take about 1 more minute here. So for me, I can begin to feel, okay, the system drop, the heels relaxed, the feet relaxed. It takes a while sometimes for this to happen. So So if you can do this pose at least 10 minutes, set your timer on your phone. Maybe put something nice to eat in the oven. And then have a lie down while it's cooking, or when your baby is having a nap. Okay, remember, with all these shapes, if you're like, I am here, I am present and I am relaxed, you can stay right here for as long as you are able to. I'm going to move and offer you something else, but this is where you can stay. Okay. If you're staying there, stay there and enjoy. I definitely know I'm coming back to this later on today. Otherwise, you can bring the knees into the chest. I'm just going to wrap the arms or hands towards the shins and just give the knees a little hug in. They can be wide if that feels better. And then just take a little rock side to side. Just a little rock side to side. Check my notes where we're at. Excellent. Little rock side to side. Okay, then I'm going to roll to one side. Now it's very tempting to come up straight away. So if you can, just lie on your side for a moment. If you've got your baby there, you can give them a little hug, a little tickle. And then press yourself up nice and slow. Coming back up to seated. You can be on a chair or on a cushion. And then we're going to just do a little wake up, a little energy sweep, a little energy tap of the body. If you want to stay in this kind of like, whoa, state, I definitely am in, stay there. If you're like, in 3 minutes, I have to resume all the chores, all the things that you had to do, we're going to just do a little tapping for the body. So I'm going to bring my hands, I'm just going to give my heart a little tap. Now it might feel a little weird, but it's a great way to begin to stimulate and just get the energy moving. I find this releases kind of held emotion a little bit. I do this quite a lot at the moment. I'm doing it quite gently. You can do it a little firmer. Okay, then we take this down one side of the body. So I'm just going to take my right hand onto my neck, just give it a little pat. I'm going to take that all the way down the outside of the arm and up the inside, onto the neck, down the outside, up the inside. One more time. Long breaths. Up, just onto the chest again, and then over to the other side. So a little bit onto the neck, inner arm, outer arm, neck, inner arm, outer arm, neck. Okay, and then again to the chest. Just a little bit there, and then very gently you can take this down the body. Obviously, be mindful of the chest, breast if you're breastfeeding. Go round there very delicately, maybe down to the belly, just giving that a little pat, and then round to the back, just giving that a little pat. And you can be quite firm with the back. You can do little fists if you want. Do the fists, and then we go down the legs, the outside of the legs, onto the feet, the inside of the legs, the outside. Sometimes we want to walk away from restorative. Oh, that's moved my move bar on the Garmin because I've been sat still all day. A couple more times. Yeah, sometimes we want to walk away from restorative in that kind of groovy state, right? But sometimes we've also got to walk away a little bit more like, whoo, I got this. Okay, that's the last one there. And then take a moment. You can have hold of your baby, or maybe hands towards the heart. Just noticing that state of overwhelm. Has it shifted? Has it changed? Can you approach maybe a couple of things in your afternoon that maybe felt overwhelming with a different approach so that you can nurture and nourish your system? Bringing the hands together if you wish, just taking a little bow down, and if your baby is there, you can bow down to him or her or them. Take a moment to honour yourself for bringing in this little babies into the world, for gifting yourself this time to rest, and for negotiating this sense of overwhelm. It's been a pleasure to work with you this afternoon. It really brightens my day as well. So hopefully you feel a little bit refreshed, a little bit recharged, and ready to head out and do whatever you have ready to do this afternoon. Please feel free to comment in the section, make requests for any future sessions. And my name is Emma Heald, and I'm here with you with Fit Mums and Friends. Thank you so much for practicing. If you're watching this live, then enjoy the sunshine. It is just glorious out there. Okay, everyone, I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great afternoon. Bye.